So, is it good to be alone or is it bad to be alone? If you've seen things in the news or research that shows that loneliness is comparative to smoking 20 cigarettes, or it's deadly, or it's bad and detrimental for your health, those studies are done to help to prove that loneliness is detrimental to you. And loneliness is detrimental to you. So then why is it that I say that we need to embrace our time alone, that we need to enjoy and find joy in being by ourselves if loneliness is actually bad for us? Well, you have to identify the difference between loneliness and being alone. Just because you're alone doesn't mean you have to experience loneliness. In fact, sometimes you can feel loneliness even when you're not alone, right? So you can actually be in a crowded space, you can be at a party, and you can feel lonely there. If you feel like you're not relating or connecting with the people at that gathering, maybe you've experienced something like that before. So, what is it? Are we supposed to be alone, or are we supposed to try not to be alone? Please understand, when it comes to healing from trauma, the number one most detrimental thing to your health is not loneliness. The most detrimental thing to your health is trying to stay connected to abusers. It's your inability to let go of the narcissist, your inability to let go of your neglector, of your abandoner, of your abuser, your desire to keep going back to them, trying to feel the connection, going back to them, trying to get some sort of love, some sort of validation from them. That is what causes you to cycle into mental illness, and it causes detrimental mental and physical health ramifications. So it's not loneliness that's the biggest enemy. The biggest enemy is staying connected and trying to get connected to toxic people. But loneliness is also detrimental. So what do we do if cutting off toxic people means that we have to be alone? Well, what we're lacking when we're equating loneliness with being alone is we're lacking a perception of what loneliness really is. The understanding of loneliness is not well widespread. It's not well known, right? People don't know what it really means because they think that being alone is loneliness, but we just proven that that's not the case, because when you're with people, you can still feel lonely. So what is loneliness? Well, loneliness is a feeling, right, that comes from a perception that it is bad to be an individual in any particular circumstance. Loneliness comes from the perception that it is bad to be an individual. So if you're around people and you feel lonely, it's because you feel like you are different than them, an individual, separate from them in some way, and then you get this negative feeling. That's loneliness. Or if you're by yourself in your house and you feel like other people are out there having fun, or other people have families and you don't have a family, or other people are married and you're not married, or other people have kids and you don't have kids, it's the perception that that is bad that's producing the feeling of loneliness. And yes, that feeling is bad for your mental health. Yes, that is detrimental to you if you continue to perseverate and feel and live in that feeling state of just, I don't belong, it's bad for me to be this way. Then yeah, you're going to have health ramifications. So in order to get out of loneliness, the answer is not run and get someone to connect with. It's a common misconception. It's commonly taught that the key to solving your issues and trauma is to find more connection with people. And that is a misconception. They are misguiding you with good intentions, but they just don't understand. So let me make it more clear to you. Connection is important to life, of course. It's a life skill to know how to connect with others. But it is an equally important life skill to know how to be alone and find joy in your solitude. I repeat, it is a life skill to find joy in solitude, to be able to be in a group of people, feel different from them, but still be okay, still feel good. To not feel lonely is the life skill that you want to cultivate. It's not, well, I don't want to feel lonely, so let me call people and let me go around people and let me just stay with my abuser, right? So people use these studies as excuses to say, oh, they said it's bad to be a lonely, so I'm going to stay in my relationship with my abuser. They use it as an excuse to stay in the cycle of abuse. Abusers use it as a reason that you should stay. Please understand, the state of being an individual, of being in solitude, is not in any way unhealthy. We need solitude. It is a need, and it is a life skill to be able to embrace solitude. So, to review, we need two things. You need to be able to have the skill of connecting with others so that you're not just sitting around people feeling disconnected. And you need the skill of embracing solitude. These two things together will help to keep you out of codependency, especially learning the skill of embracing solitude as a time to reflect, as a time to work on yourself, as a time to connect to your own individuality and learn to prize it, as a time to be creative and be free. When we're alone, we have freedom from other people's perceptions and judgments. Isn't that true? When we're alone, we have privacy. And privacy is extremely important for our mental health. So instead of taking a narrow-minded, one-sided view and thinking that connection is going to be the answer to everything, please understand connection is important, but it is a life skill to learn even how to connect. A person can be alone in their house and still feel connected to other people, to mankind. It is a skill to train the perception of the mind, to embrace the solitude, to embrace being alone. And so, yeah, loneliness is bad for you, but being alone is not. It's the best thing for you, especially when that's getting you away from toxic people.